Welcome to That's So Rad podcast. I'm your host, Travis Vangsnes. This is a podcast about people, their passions, their life experiences, and their stories. As writer Frederick Buechner once said, the story of any one of us is in some measure the story of us all. All of us can learn something valuable from someone else's life and their stories. Join us for another conversation where we learn, laugh, and leave, seeing our own life in new ways. What's more rad than that? Welcome to That's So Rad podcast. I'm your host, Travis Vangsnes. I'm joined by my one and only daughter, the living legend, Joelle Hope Vangsnes. Great to have you on this with your dad.
Yeah, great to be here.
So the funny thing, as I look back on this, Joelle, you're the last person, or last of the kids, even your little 6-year-old brother, to be on a podcast. And yet, ironically, you would agree with this, you're the biggest talker in the family.
It's true. Well, Dak's a close second. Maybe
No,
first.
He is. But so now that you have this platform, but that here you've been the last one for me to get on. So.
Yep.
So you're just best for last? Is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you're holding out?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm special, so.
You are special in more ways than one. And we'll talk more about that today. So really excited to have you on and just hear from you and your perspective on life and things you're learning. Tell us who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, you already said my name, but
Yep.
I'm 16. I'm a junior in high school. I'm the only girl with 4 brothers.
That you know, or
that I know?
Well, you said I'm the only girl with 4 brothers.
Maybe
I misheard you. Okay, I thought you said I'm the only girl with 4 brothers.
No. I have 4 brothers and I'm the only girl in the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was. I'll blame my ear hair at age 46. Why I didn't hear that right.
Yeah, we need to get a trimmer for that.
Christmas is coming up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm homeschooled. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. Hey, that's a great flyover of you. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've already alluded to this some. So you've highlighted, and it'll come up more than once in this conversation as we go, that you are the only girl in this family with 4 brothers. So yeah, so talk a little bit about that. Like what it's been like up till now.
Honestly, it's not that bad once you have an understanding, you and them, that you're not scared of them.
Okay.
Once there's no sense of power, once you know that you're on the same level, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of them. They can sometimes be scared of me, but
yeah. No, that's a good line. That is a great way to say that, because how did you say it? Once they know I'm not scared of them.
Yep.
Yeah. So explain that. Like, so because they're boys, maybe they feel like they have more power. You have 2 older brothers.
Especially the 2 older ones. They think that since they're older and they're a guy, they have a little bit more on me, but you just gotta let them know that that's not true.
So how have you gone about that? Just like standing your ground?
Yeah, pretty much. If you give them that emotion, if you let them make you mad or tear you down, they're just gonna keep doing it. So you just gotta push through it.
Yeah. Well, it is funny because so let's rewind for a second. You were actually biologically you were our oldest child.
Yep.
And then we adopted later in life Jay and Dre, and they talk about disrupting the birth order. So that disrupted, family birth order. So that was a thing that you had to take on. And so actually that is another dynamic. It wasn't just that then you were the only, girl, but then you
became the middle child.
Yeah, you became the middle child.
Man.
So that's
two bad things going for me. Anyone they ask, they're like, how many siblings do you have? I'm like, 4 brothers. And they're like, oh, are you the oldest? I'm like, no, I'm the middle child. And they're like, ooh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then that kind of happened through adoption too. So like that was another kind of curveball. Yep. It is funny though, because I think back to like me growing up. So there was 6 siblings of my brothers and sisters, and 1 girl, Steph. And I would always say Steph was the toughest of us all. You think about like being the boy, the brothers that protected the sister. I was like, dude, we protected boys from her, man. That was, I mean, she wasn't playing around. And like, if you were going to attempt to date her or whatever, I mean, I was like, okay, we might warn you, but yeah, she didn't need protection from, she knew how to take it on. So, but that is funny, because I'm thinking back to when we had Dak. So 6 years ago, last child, barring some kind of surprise in the future, was that I remember before we knew, what, if he was going to be a boy or girl, and you were just praying to God for a girl, a sister, remember?
Yes.
And I remember the devastation of, I mean, that was tough. That was tough when you first heard that. So, but I do remember too, like, that was a time I definitely remember having connected you with Steph, and, having her just speak to you of like, as your aunt, but also, man, she knows what you're going through.
Yeah. I mean, I quickly came to realize that I'm probably better off with brothers, because I've had a couple like family friends or whatever stay for like a week, and I was like, I don't think I can do this much longer, sharing a room with another girl for like a whole week.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's real. I mean, I think there's pros and cons of, I mean, there's certainly a lot less drama. We can talk about cleanliness, we can talk about all the other things that nasty.
until one of your brothers decides to date your friends. Then it gets a little shaky. But yeah, otherwise
that did happen, and you've come out on top of that, and
yep.
survived the ordeal. So,
I never believed it would happen. Y'all always said it when I was little, and I was like, that would never happen. My friends would never like my brothers, and here we are today.
Oh, sure. No, I think it's just true. It's like if you have siblings that are near your age,
especially older brothers.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. And so it did happen.
It did.
But yeah. So no doubt that that it's going to make you, I mean, certainly making you tough, probably more independent. I think it's true that it kind of takes away the mystery and kind of the mystique of guys. Seriously. Sure. I mean, there's some girls, I mean, that's what I know we saw with Steph, and I've talked to others that are like this. Maybe it doesn't hold true 100%, but there is something to girls, I think, that really have lots of brothers, that whole mystery of like, oh, the boy craziness. And like, oh man, you're kind of like, I'm in no rush to have more of this. Yeah. Significant time with males. Okay. So before we get more into like, kind of talking about your life and what you're doing, things that you're learning, what are some cool, if you were to look at your life you'll be 17 coming up, some of the coolest experiences or things you've done in your life up till now?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hey, you only have 16 years to look at that. When we ask people that are in their 40s, I mean, that's a lot on Earth.
And as a family, we go on so many trips and experiences to try and unpack all that.
Well, think about, so is trips and experiences, that was probably one of the,
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I did really like when we went on our mission trip to Honduras. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
It was cool to experience life outside of the U.S. and like people in poverty, kind of see how they live.
Sure. Yeah.
Coolest things I've gotten.
Well, that was a huge one. We've done a lot of.
Sorry. Another really cool thing that happened. It was exhausting, but it was real fun. We had a tournament that went until a volleyball tournament that went until 12 a.m. We left. That was when we played in the championship, and we won the championship at 12 a.m.
12 a.m. When did it start?
It started at 1 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. And
but it was 12... worth it. Yeah, we were really tired. We were exhausted. And we ended up winning the championship by 2 points. And it ended at 12 a.m. I didn't get home till 2:30.
That's crazy memorable.
Yeah, it was really fun. We all like listened to music and we were singing, just trying to keep ourselves awake. We were outside, like literally screaming Justin Bieber to the top of our lungs, anything to keep us awake. Like, and I don't even listen to him on a regular basis. It was just like we were so tired.
You needed to go to the Biebs to stay awake.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
So that was really cool. I'm trying to think of some other things.
Well, here's I don't know if you think of this in terms of like, because you really have gotten to do some really unique things. In fact, so would be when we moved from St. Louis, where you were born, back in like 2013 when we moved to South Carolina, and to work at a children's home. I mean, geez, you were, like it or not, that's where.
No, I did. I remember because didn't we work at Stewart first? With
cottage,
the younger,
a baby cottage, yeah.
I loved that because it was full of toys. Like,
you know how much. How old were you at the time?
Was I like 4 or 5?
4 or 5, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but I just remember any store we would go to, I always had to get a toy. So then we go into this big house with all these friends for me to play with and all these toys. And it was like magical.
Yeah. Well, so a quick backstory. I've said this on at least another episode on this podcast, but the quick of it is that Joelle, you played a huge role in that life change for our family, because we were in St. Louis and we thought we had certain plans to move to Charlotte and be closer to my family down here and kind of recreate our life in a way of what we were doing in St. Louis. But we also felt called to kind of something different, to serve in a different way, or kind of just give our lives more. And yeah, you know, I was going through a really hard time of like nothing was happening, things weren't moving, nothing was opening up in Charlotte, and out of the blue, I got like anxiety for the first time in my life, and really struggling, couldn't sleep, all that stuff, and then like 4 months of insomnia and kind of just crazy anxiety of like what is happening in our future. I mean, I shared this before, but I mean, had this dream of you know, very much in the dream were kids and themes of kids escaping harm, and at the very end, you know, it kind of said have faith like a child. And you were the one at 4 at the time, I guess 4 or 5, that I woke up on one sleep deprived morning and just sat down, and I was like, man, said something like God doesn't. Do you remember that conversation even at all?
Yeah, I do.
So do you remember what I said?
I don't remember what you said. I remember what I said, but I don't remember what you said.
Okay, so let me say what I said if I can remember it, and then I'll have you say what you said. So I posed something like, hey, do you have any idea what you think God wants us to do with our life? Something like that. Going to a 4-year-old for career advice. Always a good sign. Always a good sign your life is going well. And then you said.
I remember, I think I said, I think God wants us to take our van and pick up all the kids who don't have mommies and daddies and bring them to our house.
That's it. That is, and I mean, it's so hard to look back this many years later, but I mean, do you even have any sense of where that came from, or just was like?
I have no idea. I think it just came to my mind. I don't know if y'all ever talked about it around me.
Well, I think mom
dynamic.
And dad, yeah, you're right. Like we at one point in dating, we talked about like foster care. Mm-hmm. And then I think there was some event, in that year where we might have met someone that, I mean, there was something where I think you were kind of exposed to like an idea of helping kids. And, but yeah, like the fact that and so the other part of it was that, as I share the story, that it all fits like a puzzle, is that, that previous night or whatever, however far before that, was pretty close to it. But I had that dream, and, like I said, at the end of it was like, have faith like a child. And it really seemed to me that after you shared that, and you didn't even delay, it wasn't even like, I mean, that was option 5, or what if you went, that was what you strongly said. And it was like, and I just remember feeling like right away, like, okay, that's the child having more faith than I do, pointing the way. And that kind of became, so like, I mean, it is really unique to say, and like really a act of God and kind of a powerful miracle type of a thing. But like, I think of how much we've loved South Carolina, and our life here and what that's become. And like, we wouldn't be here if honestly, if you didn't tell me that. I mean, because that was just, at that point, I was just so desperate for like a sign. I mean, it was almost like, it wasn't like half-heartedly like, well, I'm just like, I mean, it was literally like I was hanging on like that morning, like what, so luckily you didn't say like, let's go to.
You should work at McDonald's, Dad.
Yeah, Dad, you should be a McDonald's manager and just stay in St. Louis, or yeah, you should, well, I don't know what adventures you could have taken us on. Oh my gosh.
Could have had you climbing Mount Everest.
You should be a septic tank truck driver or something. Like, okay.
Something I saw on like Bob the Builder or something.
Okay, I guess that's what I got to do. Yeah. So. Oh, that's great. So, all right. So you got to do some cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, and those are cool memories, a huge thing, and I want to talk about this for a little bit, is volleyball. You are the face of volleyball for people that know us. And so you've been playing volleyball for what? Is this year?
I think 4.5 years.
4.5. Okay. And now you're varsity. In Spartanburg here playing, and absolutely killing it. I've coined you the Norwegian Nightmare because you have devastating hits, like just boom, you like lay the hammer. So talk a little about like playing volleyball. What do you most love about it? Kind of everything about volleyball.
Well, first of all, going with the Norwegian Nightmare. So basically, we have a lot of, like, on our team, we have a lot of weird last names. Like, since our last name's Norwegian, we have a lot of really weird last names. And so at the game last night they were calling the starting lineup. And the guy, he's like, guys, I took up the opportunity to try and pronounce some of these first and last names on this team. He's like, so guys, have some patience with me. And I'm telling you, every single away game, they get my last name wrong. It's always like Vangsnes or Vagne or Vangsnes, or it's like the weirdest. Well, he got it right. And I was like, actually, like, what? Like,
that is, well, and
like, he deserves a prize or something.
Well, seriously. Well, and here's the thing, though, and I say this to people now, like, you don't have a chance to pronounce our name. If our own, and you know this, your own uncles and aunt, like my siblings, all pronounce it different. There's different pronunciations within the name bearers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like a year ago, we had this conversation. I'm hearing, so I've said Vangsnes for a long time because I'm on the right side of history, the right side of saying that name. Because at one point, I actually looked up the Norwegian. It's a Norwegian town, like those audio where you hear how they say it and say it. And I think that is what it said. And we had, I think Ryan, there's a K in there. I think Dan had said it that way for a while, like Vangsnes. I think my mom, isn't that right? And I'm like, okay, guys, this is an impossible name to spell. On top of that, you're adding a K sound. The K letter is not in the name.
Yeah.
Can we give people a fighting chance to say this name? Can we have a family meeting?
Yeah,
and decide
exactly.
This is how we're saying the name.
So call all the people, all the contacts with the last name Vangsnes, and we'll have like a whole Zoom meeting and be like, guys, what is our last name? How do we pronounce this?
But I think I cleared the air there because it was like the officials listened to the thing and it was Vangsnes. So, but to your point, I had a college professor one time who was very formal from the South, even though I went to Northwestern in Iowa. But I remember him at the start of the class he said, I'm not going to say how he did his accent, but he's like, we're going to, I like to call you by your last names. And so, Mr. Miller, Mr. whatever, he's going down the roster before class. And I still remember this day. He goes down the roster. He's looking at the names. He must have seen Vangsnes. And I remember him like abruptly going, scratch that. We're just going first names. So I'm just going first names.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've had so many people ask me if it's German or Russian, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
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 But funny. So we do have some crazy last names on our team, so that I feel bad for the poor people who have to say our lineup, our starting lineup. But yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, but yeah, talk about volleyball. Like you got into it. You're like initially hesitant.
Yeah. So one of my really close friends, she told me, she's like, hey, so they have, like, I wasn't doing any sports at the time. I had done, like, on and off different things, like soccer, archery, whatever. Just kind of doing what was available.
Yeah.
Kind of. Sometimes y'all had to force me to do sports because it was, like, out of my comfort zone. Not that I'm, like, really, But, and so she was like, they're starting this homeschool volleyball team. She's like, I might join it. And she was like, and I was like, that kind of sounds fun, but like I wasn't gonna tell mom about it because I was like, if I tell mom, then I'll for sure have to do it. Like I won't get a chance to decide on my own. She's just gonna make me right away.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna leave it. And then her mom goes and tells my mom that they're having this team. And my mom goes, well, you're doing it. And I was like, okay. So I was like already thinking about that it would be fun. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. Yeah. And I went, and I've never been more sore in my life after the first practice. I could barely sit down, but I really did like it. And I really liked the girls on my team. Yeah. So then that was I started in 7th grade. Mm-hmm. And I played on middle school. And yeah, we had a really good season. We won, I want to say, like maybe 13 out of 15 games. Yeah. We had and then in our tournament, it was a huge tournament. We got 2nd place. Mm-hmm. And that was it was like a 12-hour tournament that we were there. Yeah. Like from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But so that was really fun. I really liked my team. I had some great friends. Then the year after I made JV. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my friends from middle school, quite a few of them moved up to varsity. So that was kind of disappointing, but I was like, whatever. So then we started playing that season, and after a few games, I fractured my ankle. Mm-hmm. And at that time, we had a lot of new people on our team, so I was like, especially for serving, I was probably the strongest server on the team. And so that knocked me out for I think it was like 4 weeks. I was in a boot. And I just looked at my coach. I went to almost every single game, and I looked at my coach. He walked over because my team was like losing terribly in a game, and he looked at me and he looks at me with my boot on. He's like, I really want to put you in. He's like, but I wouldn't be allowed to. Yeah. He's like, and then he just kept coming back and just looking at me like, I really want to put you in just to serve. He's like, I wish I could do that. But then I ended up getting my boot off, and I was able to serve and play back row for some time. And everyone was saying how encouraging that was to see, like, that I got injured, but I still went to every game, and I like watched all the games. I cheered on my team, even though we did not do the best that season. But then I went back out there and I played my best. And
I think that's kind of what started the Norwegian Nightmare. You just had
I came back with like anger after being
ashes.
Injured.
But it taught you a lot of resilience and overcoming, and
I learned a lot just from watching, honestly, more than just like if I were just playing.
That's a good lesson. That's really good. Like, of just, what you can learn just from watching, especially if you've come out after, like you've been in, now you come out, now you're watching in a different way.
Yeah. And then the next year I was on JV again. I still, like, I never did physical therapy, so I still was kind of like not quite there, like physically after I broke my ankle. And that was a pretty good season. We won quite a few games and stuff. But then after that season, I was like, you know what? I was like, I really want to make varsity. So I went to physical therapy. I did all that work. And I was working out at home and going to the gym and practicing at home and with my friends whenever I could. Yeah. And then we had winter conditioning, which is like winter training. We do a couple weeks and a couple tournaments. And he had to do a JV and varsity team, so I made varsity for that, which was really exciting. And I got to play with some of my good friends, and we did pretty well. We got second place in one of our tournaments. And then during the summer, I was like, you know what? I was like, even if I made varsity for winter conditioning, I was like, that still doesn't guarantee for the season, because the season is like a whole long season. And it's like winter training, like not all the players were there because they're doing other sports or club or whatever. So I was like, I just really need to keep working at it. So I would FaceTime one of my friends and we would work out probably 3 times a week. And I was still doing physical therapy and I was practicing at home. Yeah. And I went to every open gym and stuff. And then we had tryouts and I made varsity. And honestly, like this season, like probably some of my best friends are on this team. Like we have like a whole shared album of just like the hilarious pictures of each other and like funny videos. Like as a team, we're just like really close. So that's awesome. That's really fun.
Well, that's the cool thing about team sports. That's what us adults, as we get old, we miss those things because you have all that bonding.
You're almost forced to be together all the time. So like, and then even when we don't have practice, we have had so many like get-togethers. Yeah. And like one time they went to a game together, like a college volleyball game, and I wasn't able to go because I had work. So a few of them came and surprised me while I was at work, and they like filmed it, and they were so excited to come see me. So that was really sweet. But it's really fun. I play outside hitter. So, like Dad said, I get to hit a lot, and I play all around. So I play back row too, and I serve. Yep. So I have to do a lot. I have to block, hit, serve, pass, sometimes set. Yeah.
Well, one cool thing that comes to my mind before we wrap up this volleyball segment of your life is we had a trip back to my hometown. Grew up North Dakota, Rugby, North Dakota. And what was this? I don't know, at this point, 3 years ago?
2023.
I think it was 2023, you think? Okay.
That was like before the season whenever I got injured.
Okay. So you would have been going into JV. That would have been your next. But you, because you hadn't played much, you had, you really didn't have an overhand serve down well, or maybe you had it
I
down,
could get it, but it wasn't really consistent. I had started underhand serving, and then before I even made JV, like my goal was to make JV, which and then I was like, I really want to get my overhand serve, so I kept trying it, but it just wasn't consistent.
Yep. Yeah, so I remember, so your cousin Kaya Galt, shout out, was a legendary server, sound and like strong hitter. Um, Up there, I mean, she graduated high school or whatever at the time, but was an awesome player, and it was cool to both have you meet cousins and people you barely known or seen, but then that common love of volleyball, and then for her to kind of come out side and just sort of, I remember her watching her serve a few times, just such a natural coach to just like, hey, do this, and she tweaked it a little, and didn't that kind of change you from then on?
Yeah,
Like it really
I went back and like some of my teammates, they were like, "Whoa, what happened?" Like,
yeah,
I mean, like they weren't trying to be mean, but like my serves were not good before. Right. And then I came back and they were like hard. And even that season, he was reading our stats to us, and I think I had a 95% serving thing, and I had the most aces on the team.
Jeez, so you can't. You're like my cousin in North Dakota fixed it. That's who did this.
They were like, "Can she come down here?"
Well, there you go. Maybe the door's still open.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to do that with one of the girls on JV. I've done it with her twice. She's asked me to help her work on hitting, so that's fun. I get to kind of help her like she helped me. Like Kaya helped me.
Sure, so, that's awesome.
And she said it's really helped her. I've seen her, how much she's improved just from the 2 times I've helped her. Yep. And, like, she's got, like, someone passed the ball, like, slightly over the net, and she, like, killed that thing. She hit it straight down, and we were all, like, cheering so loud for her. And she, like, even in practice, when like, my team scrimmages JV, because we do that occasionally, she, like, looks at me. If she, like, misses her hit, she's like, "What do I need to do?" I'm like, "Your coach is right there." Like, I mean, and she always wants to know my opinion. Or she's like, "Did you see that hit?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was really good." Or, like, she, like, when we were playing the other night, I went to hit, and she got a touch on my hit, right? And she was like, "Joelle," she's like, "I got a touch." She's like, "I want to block you so bad." She's like, "I was so close." And I was like, "Yeah." It's awesome. Fun, though.
Well, and so we're talking about in your future, maybe you have a chance to play volleyball. You're kind of hoping for that, maybe a small college, and maybe coaching is in your future. So who knows? That's cool. So yeah, it's been fun. So you have one more year after this one to kind of have your going out hurrah playing high school volleyball. So I want to talk this isn't like a smooth transition, but let's move from volleyball to talking about you have had 2 really unique front row experiences in your life. One is to your grandpa, who my dad, who we did lose in 2022, but who we've lived together in this house, and me along with mom, and then at times we had other caregivers and stuff helping him with late severe dementia in his life for the last few years especially, and of course the last 6 months everything went fast. But we have a lot of funny stories around, like, just living with grandpa and the things he would say, and we'd all laugh too. I mean, you just have to. Dementia is so cruel, and it's so hard and challenging. But there were the times you had to laugh. You had to laugh with some of the things he would say, or all of a sudden you'd come in and he had a washcloth on his head randomly, or just it's like just the things he'd do. I mean, he was on a mission one time when he could walk outside of the car, and he would load up armfuls of socks and go sit in his truck. We didn't have the keys in it, but he'd go sit in that thing. And we were always like, "Dad, what are you doing?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm driving back to North Dakota, I think." And we're like, apparently there's a huge sock shortage, because all you're bringing is socks. Apparently they don't have socks up there.
Yeah.
But we just have stories like that. So all of that being said, though, just what did it kind of mean to you, or just memories of looking back at kind of grandpa going through hard times, but with the family?
Well, I don't remember like a lot. I mean, like, I remember some whenever they lived in their old house before they moved in with us, but I don't remember a lot because he was with Jeremy a lot, and like I would normally hang out with grandma a lot.
So he helped care for Jeremy, other brother of mine, who was in a car wreck in 2009, and Dad did a lot of his care for almost a decade, I think. So But anyway, yeah. So that robbed you from your grandpa in many ways because just how much he was helping his son. But yeah, living here, I feel like you had a journal kind of. You used to write funny things down that he'd say.
Yeah, your grandma asked me to.
Yeah.
And I think it's somewhere. I think I gave it back to you. I don't know where it is, but
yeah.
I do remember one thing that, like, from the old house. I remember how much he loved rice pudding and apricots and stuff like that. Like, if one of his rice puddings went missing, you're gonna hear about it. Like, he's not gonna let it go. Like, he was really nice and stuff. But when that rice pudding was gone,
you'd hear about it.
Yeah, you'd hear about it.
And we laughed too of like, there were times where, we'd all be sitting at the table here having a meal and he got into a phase where he'd just steal your food. Mm-hmm. So like the boys would, like, you get up and you come back, your hot dog's gone. Yeah. So like people learn quickly, like.
And he was sneaky too. Like, you'd just be sitting there not even noticing his hand would just like reach over and you're like, what? You're like, do I move my plate? And then, like, one time I did do that. I started moving my plate away from him, and his hand just keeps following the plate. Like, he didn't get the hint. Like, he just kept going. But yeah, I do remember, like, a lot, like, going and watching TV with him when he lived here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, we would watch all kinds of, like, outdoor shows, stuff like that. And then he would always just tell me funny stuff, like how much he loves to read, even though he didn't have a single book in his room.
Right. Well, he certainly did love to read.
Yeah, he did.
What did it mean, like, as you like reflect now, like what to kind of get to live with your grandpa and see, like, your dad care for him and like just people loving him? Like, what did that mean? Like, looking back now, like, how did that impact you?
I do remember what I told you guys. I was like, when I was younger, I was like, whenever you and Dad get, like, I told Mom, I was like, whenever you and Dad get old, I was like, I think I was like 10 maybe, I don't know. I was like, whenever you and Dad get old, you're gonna live with me. I was like, I don't care. I don't care how good my husband looks. I was like, if he doesn't let y'all live with me, he's gone.
That's what he said?
Yeah, I did.
Now, do you still think that, though?
I have my days.
I mean, you at 10, a lot happened after that with even.
Yeah, but since I saw y'all, like, caring for him, I was like, oh, well, maybe I want to do the same. And, like, me and the boys would always, like, me and Asher would always fight over who y'all are gonna live with one day. Like, it was... But yeah, it was cool. And then, like, since he had like diabetes, it was cool to see like how you do like the shots and all that. And I was always amazed he just stick the needle in him with no reaction. I was like I was at like 10. I literally had to watch at the doctor. I had to watch a breathing app, like, literally to calm myself down. And then he just takes a needle and just stabs it into his leg with no reaction. Right. I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, you have to take shots every day? He's like, yep. And I was like, I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah, he was tough. There was nothing he was scared of. So, yeah, that's awesome. And then, we'll never forget, the day he passed and how hard that was. But also, all of us, his kids were, we kept Dad here and, after he passed for a few hours, I guess. And just remember you were sitting in there with your uncles and aunt, just kind of in there, just, you kind of were always there to even the end with him. And it was beautiful. So, yeah, it was. So what about, as you look at Jeremy, your uncle, who that's another front row seat to, like, tragedy, but also in a way you have a guy who in your life has overcome, I mean, was a college athlete and, he's, trapped in his body. And he's funny and he has so much joy.
He's really funny, yeah.
Can teach you so much stuff. But what have you learned from his life for watching him? How has he impacted you?
Let me think on it. I think, like, with him, he, like I always have to, like, I feel like I don't sit still well. Like, I feel like I always have, like, I'm not happy if I'm not doing fun stuff or, like, being with people. Like, if I'm just sitting around all day, I feel like so depressed. But like the way he can just literally just sit with someone in a room and like quiet and be content, like, or even by himself, like he's just always happy, like he doesn't get down very easily. I think that's cool.
Yeah, you're right. So, well, and because he can't speak, you're forced to like kind of be still and quiet, or I mean, you have to. I mean, you can talk to him, of course, and spell stuff.
Anytime I try and spell stuff, it's because my brain moves so fast. He like when he knows like sometimes you're busy doing stuff and Jeremy needs to spell something, and I'm like, and you're like, Joel, you just spell it for him, and I look at him, he just rolls his eyes, and he's like, yeah. I know he appreciates me doing it for him, but my brain moves like so fast that I can never remember what we previously spelled. Like I can spell just fine. It's just like I'm like, was it dog? Was it Dan? Was it what was it? I know it started with a D, but like what was the word? I always have to like write it down.
Yeah. But he doesn't miss a letter. I mean, he can write
he doesn't.
He'll never forget what he said.
Yeah, no, he won't.
The cool thing too with you on this is so when we do Jeremy's care once a month for 48 hours at our house where he stays. And because we don't, in the room he's in, it's not big enough to have a mechanical lift. So we actually lift him out of his chair and have for years. So I lift him from the back of, behind his, under his arms, out of the chair into the bed and vice versa. But we need a leg lifter under the knees. And that gets to be a rotation of you guys. And there'll be times Jeremy will be like, have Joelle come down. And then that's cool. So you're actually helping lift your uncle into bed, and that's pretty,
yeah,
that's cool. That's something powerful there of like, not only just serving him, but you're being his.
Another thing I like a lot is that he makes people's day just with a smile. Like he doesn't even have to talk to you. Like you don't have to spell anything out. He can literally just smile and your whole day is like, is made.
That's true. No, that's true. 100%.
Because like a lot of people think kindness is like just words, like words of affirmation and all that. But sometimes just a smile is like, yeah,
it's a gift. You're right. A smile is the gift, and that's one of the greatest gifts that really Jeremy gives us all the time. Yeah. You're right. And then it's not just that, it's the smile that in his condition. I mean, in that condition, if I were trapped in a wheelchair, right. Trapped in your body, in a wheelchair, in a bed, getting fed from people through a tube in your stomach.
Yeah.
Getting suction down your mouth when you're coughing. And through that, you can smile and have joy and teach us to have joy. Whew.
Yeah.
That's a front row seat to inspiration. All right. We're going to end with this. Where do you find inspiration and spark for your life?
Whoa, that's a big question. I really like my friends and family. They really like anytime I hang out with my friends, I just like at the end of the day I go home and I was like, that was just so fun. Like it just made my whole entire week, like just to hang out with them for a few hours. And like so family and stuff. Yeah. I do like fun experiences, like anything like trips, excursions, pretty much honestly just getting out of the house. Like people are like, do you want to go to Lowe's with me? I'm like, sure. Just as long as you don't leave me at home. Like yeah.
Don't leave me out. Don't leave me out of the thing.
I know. I like FOMO. Yeah, literally I get like notifications on Live 360. It's like Mom left home and I'm like, I wonder where she's going. Like I don't want to miss out. What if she's doing something fun? Like if she's going shopping, I want to go with her. Why didn't she tell me? Like I used to get so mad at you guys when you would just leave and not say anything. I'm like, I wanted to go with you. It wasn't that I was worried about you guys. I was like, I wanted to go with you.
You wanted to go have fun. Yeah. So fun is all about what you love. Fun. You love friends. Living life. Well, great hanging out and good talking to you on this podcast. And thanks for sharing about your life and things that you've learned and seen. Love you and stay rad.
Love you too. Okay. Bye.
Hope you enjoyed the episode today. Check out the show notes for any links or resources shared in the episode. If you enjoy the podcast, it would be really appreciated if you'd subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with friends. May we all remember these words from writer Mary Oliver. Instructions for living a life. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it.